Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beta TV studio for another live episode of Beta Insider. I'm your host Noelle, and today my guest joins us from Beta Houston. It's Terry Mathis. She is the president and CEO of the company Oxygen Orchard, which is the company behind the Big Pitcher, which we have available on beta.com. It retails for $229.95. The Big Pitcher and Oxygen Orchard are really aiming to change the way you drink water. Not only that, but the way that you benefit from water and hydrate your body. Now, I don't know about you guys, but wellness has really been top of mind for me, especially throughout 2020. And actually, Terry and Oxygen Orchard are celebrating over 20 years as a company. So let's bring her into the conversation now. Like I said, joining us live from Beta Houston, we've got Terry Mathis. Hey, Terry.
Hey, how are you, Noelle?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to jump into our conversation because, you know, both of us are very obviously concerned about wellness, as so many people are, especially right now in today's day and age. Terry, tell me, what was the aha moment that really clicked and inspired you to develop and create the Big Pitcher, which you actually have right there on the desk behind you?
Right. That's right. So it was a series of events, Noelle. First of all, we determined that our drinking water at home had zero oxygen in it because it came from a well. And then we looked in the marketplace for something that could oxygen infuse our water, and we didn't find anything. So in the beginning, I tried to find information as to what we should do about that, no oxygen. And, 2000, the internet wasn't then what it is now. So I really didn't find very much. So I called, just out of the blue, 3 doctors, internal medicine doctors, I think at Duke University and Emory University, and I think Baylor. And it's a miracle in looking back that I was able to reach all 3 of them just in one phone call. And they all said, yeah, your idea is good. Like, is oxygen good for you? Can I drink it in water? Is that a good way to do it? They all said yes. We never know where the next medical breakthrough is going to come from. They were all very encouraging. So for me, that was like a giant green light. That's kind of what helped propel us toward what would come next, which was the research and development.
Yeah. Sounds like, you started off really thinking about your own needs and your family's needs. And it's really kind of blossomed from there, and you're helping people all over the country.
Yeah, well, when we started marketing, it was national, and we started out national. So we've sold thousands and thousands and 10,000 of our product throughout the U.S. and even abroad.
Right. And as I mentioned, you're celebrating over 20 years as a company. And so congratulations, because that is a huge accomplishment. Interestingly, you celebrated 20 years in 2020, which was, not the best year, obviously, for everybody. And really a year, I think, that we all took a step back and really thought about our own personal health and wellness. Amazing that you've created something that can really help in that area.
You know what? That was our busiest year ever, Noelle, because I think the American consumer is so smart. I think they intuited that more oxygen equals more immunity. And so we had a hard time keeping up with all the orders last year, and it's continuing even now.
Wow. Yes, and I'm sure it will just continue to climb. So buckle up. Now, tell me, Terry, where does the name Oxygen Orchard come from?
Oh, this is a sweet story. Early on, we didn't have a lot of money to pay for an office warehouse. So down the road from where we live in Rosenberg, Texas, there's a little community called Orchard, Texas, about 300 people. And they had repurposed a century-old school building that we leased space in. And the wood was, the dark wood floors, the floor-to-ceiling windows, tall ceilings. And it was really perfect for us. It's where we spent years putting together our product. And we would have to bring it toward the big city, Houston, to ship. But so when I was looking for a new name, we renamed it in about 2010. I just went online to find a good domain name, and it was available. So in order to kind of honor the orchard community, that's what the name is. And we love it.
Wow, I love it too. I love the alliteration of it. But also, obviously, you've tied in oxygen And the orchard, obviously, like you said, is just so perfect.
Yeah.
Given, where you are in Texas. I love that. I love that, Terry. Now, Terry, being in, the business for 20 years, I'm sure that the brand has seen some evolution. So tell us a little bit about that.
The brand itself maybe has gone through some iterations. I think what's changed the most is our approach to the marketplace. We've learned so much about who our market is and what they want and what they need. And so we've changed our approach over the years to be a little bit more less science and techie and more, our water is really for the body, mind, and spirit. It's for everything that affects our lives. And oxygen helps all of that in so many ways.
Yeah. Now, Terry, I know our viewers are just dying to learn more about the product. So would you demo it for us and kind of show us how it works?
Yeah. So and this water is about 95 to 98% saturated with O2.
Wow. Okay.
Which is what we're breathing, so it's 100% safe. And when you drink the water, you're actually drinking water that is very saturated with oxygen. You're not drinking a gas. So your stomach is able to manage this just as it does any other water that you drink. So it goes straight to your bloodstream and it goes to all your cells.
Wow. I love to, so the base, Terry, is infusing the water with oxygen. We're seeing the bubbles. Is that how it works?
Yes. The bubbles are diffusing that oxygen into the water column.
Wow.
And it's very efficient, very, very inexpensive to do. And as I mentioned, it's 100% safe.
Wow, right, 100% safe, which safety, of course, is also very top of mind right now, and effective, which is amazing. Those are like two things I think, right, consumers are always looking for in their products, is safety and efficacy. How do you use it at home?
Well, it's just my husband and me most of the time, and we just keep one unit going all the time.
All the time.
And we have to fill it up often because one thing we've learned about it from our customers, everybody who uses this drinks more water, and that us too. You see it, and it reminds you to drink water when you see it. Right. Beyond when you're just thirsty, but when you walk by and it's working, you say, "Oh, I'm going to pour a glass of water." So we've just gotten accustomed to filling it up every time we walk by, when it's half full or just a little bit empty. So that's how we use it. Now at our warehouse, we have to have several going, and we keep those for our workers, and everybody seems to be happy with it. So yeah.
Now I know that healthy hydration is really at the core of your mission. Tell us what that means exactly.
Well, I think we've all been conditioned by now to drink more water, drink enough water, because our bodies need it for all of its functions. And that's fine. And the water, there's no such thing as normal water. Water runs the gamut there is no normal water. So what we say is, let's make sure your water is as fully oxygenated as possible. This is the water of the future, and we can have it now. It's water that's going to deliver the benefits of oxygen, extra supplemental oxygen to your cells. And that is so important. So to me, healthy hydration is drinking enough water and the right kind of water.
Now, you mentioned health benefits. I think a lot of people aren't aware of the health benefits that come with drinking oxygen-infused water. So what are some benefits that, our viewers can look forward to when they purchase the Big Pitcher?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this, Noelle, and it's really a simple answer for an extremely complex process. So when you eat anything or even drink anything like any kind of beverage, it goes it goes to your cells through a process of biological functions. When it gets to your cell, let's call it the nutrients that go to your cell, that the nutrients need oxygen to metabolize that in order to create energy. So food plus oxygen equals energy. And every cell needs to create that energy to detoxify itself, to perform its function is like your pancreas, your brain, your skin. But most important to us right now, or the most important for us in general, is the immune function. That cell needs energy to maintain its immune function. And so when you're well oxygenated, when your cells are well oxygenated, that helps a huge amount toward the detoxification process, how your body works, and the immune function. But the whole thing about drinking this water is that it helps every function in your body. Oxygen is really the foundation for good health.
Wow. And that's something I think that so many of us hear. And of course, like you were saying, Terry, we really, especially now, I think a lot of people's eyes have been open to the benefits of drinking water. But, I think there's still a lot more that can be learned about oxygen and the benefits of oxygen. And like you're saying, how it really forms the foundation for healthy cellular function and also just, organ function in general. Which is amazing that you've done all this research. Tell me, I know from your website, you're very transparent about the research that you've done. Why is it important for you to spread this knowledge and to help educate people in this way?
Oh, well, first of all, I feel like it's my responsibility to do it. Mm-hmm. I've learned so much in the last 20 years. Of course, I worked with oxygen and water even before that for about almost 20 years. So I've been doing this a long time. But with regard to the biological way that we work with water and oxygen, I've been studying this 20 years, Noelle. And so my book is going to be published before October of this year. I've been working on it a very, very long time.
Wow.
I love to do the research. My aha moments, I get them almost every day, because when I do look into something that I've just learned about and look deeply into it, I go, oh, smack my hat. It's really all about oxygen. So yeah, it's an amazing field of research that I'm kind of alone in it, to tell you the truth. Yeah. There aren't too many others out there who have done the work that I've done, who've had the background of over 3 decades with water and oxygen. But it's really fascinating, and I just feel like the more people know about it, the whole world is kind of obsessed with the diet part, but we also need to be obsessed equally with the oxygen part, and that's my goal.
Right. And Terry, I'm just amazed by your story. Can't wait to read your book when it's out.
Thank you.
Tell me, do you have a background in research, in biology at all, or did this all just stem from a pure curiosity?
Well, this is my third career. My first career, I was a stockbroker. The second career, I did the industrial wastewater treatment. I started a company in the mid-'80s, and because I'm in Texas near the Gulf Coast, we have a lot of petroleum hydrocarbon related industry, and they create waste. And so for almost 20 years, my company would be contracted to clean that water that was the result of plastics production, chemical production, refining, and so on. So I did that for a long time, and that's where I really learned the water chemistry that is involved with our product. No, I just feel like I'm a pretty good researcher, and I try to keep an open mind. But there's so much out there, and it keeps me young, and it keeps me interested, and it keeps me excited about our product and our little industries that we were first to market in our little industry. And it's grown a lot, and I'm happy to see that, because people need to know about oxygen, and they need to understand how important that oxygen balance is. I just love it. Noelle, I look forward to work every day.
Amazing. Well, you're an inspiration, Terry. And I want to go back to, I know we were talking a little bit about, the kind of the health benefits of drinking oxygen infused water. How is the big picture helping folks maintain healthy blood oxygen levels, especially during a time, when health is so crucial to all of us?
We would not have known this other than what I know on paper. we had a couple of years, we got a lot of phone calls from our customers because they were having one specific problem with their big picture, which we've since fixed and it's perfect now. But during those couple of years, we heard from a lot of customers, and over and over and over, they said three things. They said, I drink more water, I have more energy, and my blood oxygen saturation, with the little pulse oximeter, their blood oxygen saturation was up in every instance that they'd go to the doctor would measure it, and their blood ox would be up anywhere from, a couple of points to 5 or 6 percentage points or more.
Wow.
So we knew there that was going to be a big, big deal. And it really has been, especially lately.
Wow. Now, just a couple of practical kind of questions, Terry. How can you fill it up with, what kind of water can you use to fill it up? Do you use tap water? Do you use distilled water?
We get asked that a lot. We don't give that advice to our customers because water is a pretty personal choice. Yeah. And so we use tap water at home, but we use bottled water at the warehouse. I just tell people whatever water they're most comfortable with. I will tell you that I think that distilled water is the purest, but not everybody wants to go out and buy a distiller, and they don't want to put it on their stove every time they want water. So it's whatever water you're comfortable with. The big picture does purify the water to a certain degree, but it can't compete with some carbon filtration. So we don't say that it purifies, but it actually goes a long way toward purification. So.
Yeah. And I know, like you were saying, right, everybody has these big water bottles now that they're carrying around. So you can just drink this at the kitchen counter, or you can take it to go?
Yeah, you can take it to go. Once that oxygen is infused and saturated into the water, it's not fragile. It lasts indefinitely in ambient temperatures. So a lot of people will put ice, like oxygen water ice, into their bottles that they take with them. But yeah, the oxygen lasts. It's not fragile.
Great. It's very, I'm looking at it behind you. It's so soothing too, to kind of watch those bubbles. Do you feel like it helps with, stress relief to kind of have that going and have that fixture in your home?
Absolutely. It's kind of a Zen quality. It's very restful. I think we're all stressed to some degree, and I think we really, for our body's sake, we need to manage that stress and keep it down and not support that inflammation that can be a real problem to our health. But the water not only does help with the inflammation, but it also just the drinking of it, it's very smooth to the palate. And of course it tastes better because it's fresh now. It's kind of the way God meant for water to be, this level of oxygen, because it is natural. So it's a very stress relieving thing to do. We hear that all the time, and my husband and I know it too. So, lower stress, happier life.
Happier life, more hydration. And something else I read on your website, Terry, was I know you mentioned maintaining pH levels in the body too, which recently, right, there's been this kind of big wave of people wanting to find ways to maintain the body's pH level, drinking alkaline water. There's so much information out there. So can you kind of break that down for me as well and tell me how the big picture is helping people's pH levels?
Yeah, so I'm going to get a little bit technical here, but stay with me. So
Sure.
in the cell, remember the food and the oxygen need to be balanced. If there's not balance, you put food into your body and not enough oxygen, that means that you're going to have a lower pH, an acidic pH, as a result of that inadequate oxygen. So my thinking is, of course, I'm going to be a proponent of drinking oxygen-infused water instead of drinking alkaline water, because alkaline water, in our opinion, treats the symptom, whereas drinking oxygen-infused water treats the cause of that low pH and ultimately that inflammation.
Great. Well, yes, and I'm right there with you. I think, if there's any way to get to the root of the problem, right? And not just slap a Band-Aid over it.
Right.
That's going to benefit all of us in the long run. Terry, this conversation has been so great. Before I let you go, what can we expect to see from Oxygen Orchard in the future?
Well, we want to raise awareness, continue to raise awareness of the importance of oxygen balance, and also the easiest way to get it is by drinking water from the big pitcher. The second thing, we're looking at expanding into Canada, Western Europe, and Southeast Asia. That's happening. Wow. That's a good thing. My book is happening before October, and we're looking for a corporate partner who can support us in our growing distribution efforts and our growth. So we're busy doing all that. We're excited to be with you guys. The beta stores. It's a wonderful place for us to be, and we appreciate that. But Noelle, that's pretty much it.
And Terry, do we have a title for the book so we can be on the lookout for it?
Today's working title is The Oxygen Theory by Terry Mathis.
Amazing. So much going on, and Terry, we're so happy to have you as part of the Beta family. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for joining us here again in the Beta TV studio for another live episode of Beta Insider. Head on over to beta.com to get your big picture today. Again, it retails for $229.95, but there are promotions that you can look forward to. So head on over to beta.com, type in Oxygen Orchard or Big Picture, and you will find it over there. You can also go to oxygenorchard.com to learn more about the product and Terry and her research. I'll see you guys back here again very soon for more live episodes from Beta TV.